On the morning of August 6, 1945, at 7:30 a.m., the Japanese radar system sounded an alarm across the city. But the people there and the Japanese Air Force thought it was just a usual alert. By 8 a.m., kids were getting ready for school, women were making breakfast at home, and men were about to leave for their offices. The weather was perfectly calm, but in this quiet, ordinary morning, something was about to happen that would be witnessed for the first time in human history. At 8:15 in the morning, a cylindrical object dropped from the plane. Before anyone could even react, the entire city turned into a blazing fireball. Thousands of people vanished in an instant, turned to steam. Some left only shadows on the walls. Buildings, roads, trees, everything was reduced to ashes. It happened in seconds. Around 70,000 to 80,000 people were killed that very day, including children, old folks, young men, and even animals and birds. It was the most horrifying scene in history that the world was witnessing. But what was about to happen next was going to be even more terrifying. On August 9, 1945, Japan was still reeling from the wounds of Hiroshima when, just 3 days later, another American plane appeared in the sky. This time, it carried Fat Man, an even more powerful atomic bomb than Little Boy. At 11:02 a.m., death rained down on Nagasaki too. Thousands more lost their lives in that instant. It's over for those cities, but the story is just beginning. Guys, this wasn't just about bombing to cities. It was a decision that shook an entire civilization. So the question is, what exactly happened that made America drop not one, but two atomic bombs on Japan? Was it a way to end the war, or just a show of power? At that time, America and Japan were locked in a fierce battle. But was the bombing really about ending the war, or was there some other reason behind it? You're going to find out in today's video. Plus, we'll also talk about how Japan completely changed after the bombs were dropped. Let's get this straight. The year was 1914. Europe seemed peaceful on the surface, but deep down, these countries were loaded with tension. Every nation was racing to become the strongest. Some wanted to expand their territory, while others were buying more weapons, acting like tough outlaws. Austria-Hungary was a big European power dreaming of ruling the entire world. Then there was Serbia, not very big in size, but huge in spirit, and it didn't like Austria's policies one bit. But things really heated up when Austria took over Bosnia and Herzegovina, countries next to Serbia. Austria's Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife came to visit Serbia on June 28, 1914. Little did they know, that day would be their last. A young Serbian guy named Gavrilo Princip was waiting for them with a pistol, and as soon as Franz Ferdinand got close, he fired a shot. And that's when everything changed. Austria declared war on Serbia. At that time, Russia stepped up to support Serbia, which made Germany decide to back Austria. Then, one by one, France, Britain, and other countries jumped into the war against each other. So, what started as a fight between two countries turned into a world war. Meanwhile, the US stayed completely quiet, saying, "Hey, we're not getting involved in this mess. You guys fight or die, but you know how it is, people only realize when it hits close to home." Germany used submarine warfare to try and blockade Britain. The idea was to target any ships heading to Britain. They used to pass through the area, and German submarines would sink them. Whether it was a passenger ship or a cargo vessel, they didn't spare any. On May 7, 1915, a ship named RMS Lusitania was sunk by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland, killing 1,198 people, including 128 American citizens. Although the US ignored this at the time, in 1917 the British intercepted a telegram from Germany sent to Mexico in which Germany told Mexico to make a deal, and then the land that America had taken from Mexico would be returned to Mexico with Germany as help. When Britain told America this, America got furious and jumped into the war. The fighting went on for 4 years, and it finally stopped in 1918. Over 10 million people died in this war. The world thought there would never be another war. But this was just the beginning. The First War ended, but the wounds remained. Germany had lost and was hit with a huge fine. People lost their jobs, the country became poor, and then a new character stepped forward. Adolf Hitler said, "I will make Germany great again." People cheered and gave him power. But Hitler's dream was to rule the whole world. In 1939, he attacked Poland, and then Britain and France declared war on Germany, and World War II began. Friends, World War II was divided into two sides, the Axis powers and the Allied powers. The Axis powers included three dangerous countries, Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Allied powers included countries like Britain, France, the Soviet Union, that's Russia, and the United States. They were involved. However, the First World War had already weakened America a lot, so it was still trying to stay away from any conflict. Meanwhile, Japan had crushed several Asian countries, including China, and America was backing China. On top of that, America had imposed an oil embargo on Japan, which was causing a serious oil crisis for them. Japan also had an expansionist policy. They knew that America was still recovering from the First World War, and if they attacked, America would have to compromise and would likely lift the oil embargo easily. Japan was also hurt by another thing when, in 1940, American President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered the U.S. Pacific Fleet to move from California to the Pearl Harbor Naval Base in Hawaii. Japan thought, if this keeps up, our whole plan will be ruined. Pearl Harbor is a key military port for the U.S. Navy, where battleships, submarines, fighter jets, and hundreds of Navy soldiers are stationed. It is located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a group of Hawaiian islands that belong to America, about 4,000 miles from California. The distance between here and Japan is 6,400 kilometers. Japan thought that if they attacked here, it would cause significant damage to the US. With that in mind, on December 7, 1941, at 7:55 in the morning, Japan sent about 353 fighter planes, bombers, and torpedo planes from 6 aircraft carriers to destroy the American base. Around 2,403 American civilians and soldiers were killed, and about 1,178 were injured in the attack. Out of 8 US battleships, 4 sank at sea, and the remaining 4 were badly damaged. Additionally, over 300 American planes were destroyed. It happened on the ship named USS Arizona, where 1,177 soldiers lost their lives. However, Japan also lost 29 planes and 64 soldiers. After this, on December 8, 1941, America declared war on Japan. From then on, the US went all in on World War II. This attack turned out to be Japan's biggest mistake because America's entry completely changed the course of the war. From 1941 to 1945, the US fought many battles against Japan, like the Battle of Midway, the Battle of Guadalcanal, the Battle of Iwo Jima, and the Battle of Okinawa, and America won all of these. But Japan wasn't ready to give up. They were worn out from all the fighting. So America came up with a permanent solution to end the war. By 1945, America had developed the atomic bomb, and just a few months before that, Hitler had shot himself. So now, their biggest target was Japan. If you want to know the full history of the atomic bomb, you can check out the video we uploaded earlier. America chose 2 Japanese cities to drop the bomb on. The first was Hiroshima, and the second was Kokura. Both cities were densely populated, and there was a Japanese military base. Along with that, the American scientists who had developed the atomic bomb also wanted to see how much effect it would have on a populated area. To be clear, this was basically a nuclear test on humans by America, where thousands of people were about to be incinerated. At that time, America had made 3 atomic bombs: Little Boy, Thin Man, and Fat Man. Little Boy was made from uranium-235, Thin Man from plutonium, and Fat Man from plutonium-239. Thin Man was a gun-type bomb and was actually more dangerous. But the biggest problem was that whenever they tried to fire it, it would explode too soon. That's why they went with Little Boy and Fat Man instead. On August 6, 1945, Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima, killing 70,000 to 80,000 people. Then, 3 days later, on August 9th, the US sent Fat Man on a plane called Boxcar to drop a bomb on Kakoura. But when the plane reached near Kakoura, the weather suddenly turned bad. So the pilot chose Nagasaki as an alternative target and dropped Fat Man there. The bomb dropped on Hiroshima killed about 75,000 people instantly, while the bomb dropped on Nagasaki killed around 40,000 people. If Fat Man had fallen on the city of Kakoura, it would have caused even more destruction than Little Boy. After this, the Japanese government realized that continuing the war meant total destruction of the country. So on August 14, 1945, Japan surrendered, and World War II officially ended on September 2, 1945. But even months and years after the bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, people suffered from cancer, birth defects, and skin diseases. Many generations dealt with mental and physical illnesses. People were in shock, families got separated. Thousands of kids became orphans. But after that, America helped Japan a lot, including in big areas like technology, education, and industry. Because of this, Japan became one of the top economies in the world within 20 to 30 years. The bomb shattered Japan, but America helped rebuild it. Today, Japan and America are close friends and partners. Friends, this is the biggest irony in history. This was the shocking story of World War II, from the deadly bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to Japan's incredible comeback. If you like this video even a little, don't leave without liking it and subscribing to the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the decision to drop the bombs? See you in the next video.